Hello my friends, this is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, and once again I'm in my kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing some canning. Got an abundance of zucchini in my garden out there and running out of things to do with it. However, I came across this recipe yesterday for zucchini pineapple. Yep, that's what I said, zucchini pineapple. What is that? It's a process where you take zucchini and you chop it up and you cook it in pineapple juice with sugar and lemon juice, and it comes out with a texture and a taste like canned pineapple. I felt like, hey, let's give it a try. We can use this later on in recipes like pineapple upside down cake, a topping on ice cream or cake or things like that. Variety of different uses for pineapple. So let's do this, come on. These are the ingredients. I've got my zucchini, which I'm going to be peeling, taking out the seeds, and then cutting it into cubes approximately a ½ inch thick. This is the pineapple juice. I use a whole can of this, and this is 46 ounces. Got 3 cups of sugar. Got my lemon juice, and you have to use bottled lemon juice, and the reason for that being that lemons, fresh lemons, you may not have a consistent acidity, and it's very important that you have acid in anything that you can, and that you have the correct amount. And to better assure that, the suggestion is for bottled lemon juice. I've got the zucchini peeled. I've gone and pulled out a lot of the seeds. Then I cut it into about 1/2 inch cubes. And I got to make 16 cups of this per the recipe. The zucchini is all trimmed up, cut into little 1/2 inch cubes. It's a lot of waste because you're getting rid of a lot of that green that's on them in addition to the seeds. This is supposed to be 16 cups, but I'm short a couple of cups, but I don't think that'll matter. We'll just have extra juice left over when we go to can this. I've got my pineapple juice, sugar, and lemon juice in this big Dutch oven. In this container, I have my jars in there simmering. I've got 8, 9 jars in there that are being prepped for this canning process. I've got my lids and my bands, which I'm going to be dipping in the water once I get the jars out of there so I can get them cleaned up. And next step is to add the zucchini to this solution. Here's my zucchini. I'm going to add it to the liquid. I'm trying not to make a mess here, but it's splattering. All hands on board. We're going to turn the heat up pretty high to start because we want to first bring it up to a boil. Once we reach a boil, then we'll cut it back down to a simmer and simmer it for about 20 minutes. My zucchini's been boiling for about 20 minutes, or simmering rather, for 20 minutes in the pineapple juice, sugar, and apple juice mixture. And it's amazing how it has taken on a yellow color, very, very similar to pineapple. Now I'm getting ready to put it in the jar so we can start the canning process. My lids and bands, I put in the boiling water for a minute or so just to get them cleaned, and then the lids needed to just have the rubber just to be softened. And it doesn't need to be boiled, just needs to be low hot water for a short period of time. Okay, let's go. Let's start here. And we're going to add enough of the zucchini to the jars to go within a ½ inch of the top of the jar. And that's going to be about there. And we can measure that by just taking our You can add a little bit more to it, I think. There we go. I'm going to finish doing all the jars and we'll come back and seal them up and put them in the canner. I've got all the jars filled and I measured. We've got a 1/2 inch of head space in each of the jars. In addition, I'm going to go in and make sure there's no bubbles and just go in and just stir it around a little bit so that the juice can move to whatever airspace that might have been. Now keep in mind this recipe called for 16 cups of zucchini. I had maybe about, it was less than 16, somewhere between 8, 19, 11, 12, 13 and a half cups. So I didn't get to fill all the jars. I only have 6 here and not the 8. Now once we've gone in and we've checked to make sure that there are no bubbles, then I'm going to take, this is a clean paper towel that I've just dipped in some vinegar, and we're going to go along those edges, and that's just to make sure that we get any sugar or juice that might be in those edges, which will prevent the jars from sealing, or sealing appropriately. We don't want to open them up and find that they weren't sealed right. Okay. The next step then is to get my lids, and we put those, get these bands out of the way so I can get the lids out. Keep in mind that I've already gone through and washed these lids and dipped them in the hot boiling water for a little less than a minute. Okay, got those lids on there. Then nothing left but to put the bands on, and that just serves to hold the lids in place while it's going through the canning process in the water bath. These are hot. Okay, we'll be back and we'll go on to the next step. Now that I've got the lids and the bands on the jars, and remember I already cleaned, we debubbled, now it's time to put them in the canner. And the water is very, very hot. Currently it is boiling, and the other thing we have to note is that the water needs to go above the jars by at least 2 inches. And I may have to add more water to this pot, because I'm only getting it maybe about an inch. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. Okay, I've got my jars in, and I make sure that they're level. Since I only have 6 jars, they can't rely on each other to stand up straight. I live where the altitude is about 2,500 feet above sea level, and for that altitude I need to keep these in the boiling water for at least 20 minutes. The water's not boiling yet, so I won't start the timer until I get a boil. I'm going to put the lid on to help it maintain the temperature and get to that boiling level. And then we'll give it its 20 minutes and let it do what it do. Okay?